For this episode, I'm doing another solo show. I noticed that you guys really like when I do that, so I am going to share some of my own personal experiences and recommendations on how I've grown Wear, Wag, Repeat into an actual business. It's, now mainly my full-time job. So on this episode, I'm going to share with you my favorite tools that I use to run my pet industry business. So this is going to be an overview of my top 7 tools that make it easier for me to run things on my own, to stay organized, and also to automate a few things. If you're not automating anything in your business, whether it's a blog or a store or an Etsy shop or whatever it is that you're doing, maybe you're a dog trainer or a dog sitter or something like that, there are things that you could be automating and it would give you more time to play with your own dog. And that's what I'm all about. So I included a lot of these things based on questions that I get in my Instagram DMs, via email, questions from friends when I see them in person, and I hope that these recommendations are going to help you out as well. So let's dive in. My first recommendation is Trello. I actually signed up for Trello probably 6 months ago, based on a bunch of Instagram posts and Facebook posts that I saw from the Strategy Hour podcast. The 2 women who run that, they also call themselves Think Creative Collective, and then their podcast is called the Strategy Hour. That's something I would recommend that you check out because they just have so many great recommendations and ideas for how to run an online business. And they introduced me to Trello. They actually have a little online course that shows you how to use Trello. And so I signed up for that. It was only $29. I figured, why not? And it was such a great investment because Trello has been amazing. You can create your to-do lists on separate boards within your account. So I have one board that's my editorial calendar for my blog. I have another board that's for my podcast. I have another for my online store. I have another for email blasts. And on each of those boards, I have all these running lists of to-do lists and checklists and workflows that can make sure that I get everything done that I need to get done. Now, if you are using Trello or you've tried it out, there's one hack that I've discovered that I really love that you might not be using. On Trello, there's something called power ups. And the first time I tried to power up, I realized you only get one power up when you're on the free account. And the one that I chose didn't really do anything for me. And I was like, well, this sucks. So then I recently experimented with another one. I think it's called Calendly or something like that. And it syncs with my iCal. So that has been so amazing. Especially for my editorial calendar for my blog, I have a mix of posts that I do because I'm just interested in the topic, or I have gift guides or all sorts of different stuff. Then I also have sponsored posts, and some of those are Instagram posts, some are blog posts, some are videos, and keeping track of the schedule of when all of those are due and then working in my own posts in between, it's like a real juggling act. So being able to sync my Trello with my iCal, I can actually see, I need to do a sponsored post next Wednesday. I better make sure that my morning is clear so that I can spend a lot of time focusing on that on Instagram. So that has been really, really wonderful. I recommend checking out Trello. And like I said, there is a free account, and then you can pay for more features, but I am more than satisfied with the free one. So speaking of money, my next recommendation is for invoicing. I've been using FreshBooks Cloud Accounting for probably 2 years. And my business before was very much based on invoicing. So I used to do a lot more of social media management. I managed other businesses, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, what have you. And I would charge them every month. And so I was sending out somewhere between 5 and 10 invoices every month. And FreshBooks made it so easy. Before that, I was making a Word document and saving it as a PDF and then emailing that to people. And it was a lot of work. I would procrastinate because it was such a pain in the butt. And then it would take me a lot longer to get paid. And that's not fun for me. So even though, it was a lot of work, I just would procrastinate it because it wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable. And not that FreshBooks makes invoicing fun, but it makes it super duper easy. And the greatest thing is that you can actually have your clients pay you via PayPal or credit card, and FreshBooks kind of manages it all. There are different things you might have to sign up for. Like I actually have a Stripe account, which enables credit card payments, and I've integrated that with my FreshBooks. But if you don't have that, people can still pay via PayPal. And so this is awesome. If you are a pet sitter or a dog walker or a dog trainer or a blogger or a pet wellness consultant or whatever it is that you do, I'm sure there are some things that you're invoicing people for, and maybe you're asking them to go on your PayPal account and send you money through friends and family or something like that. And that's fine, I think, when you're first starting out, but FreshBooks is just so handy because it will keep track of all of your stuff. Then when it comes time for you to go and do your taxes, you're going to have it all organized and you're going to know where your money came from. And you can also sort things so you could see, which areas are making you the most money throughout the course of the year. We all love our pets so much, and I think a lot of us work in the pet industry because we're so passionate about animals, but you also have to make a living and you want to grow your business. So the more profitable your business is, then the more of a difference you're going to be able to make in pets' lives. So I think it's really important to pay attention to that. And I really love using FreshBooks for that. It will also sync up with my bank account. So if I use my dedicated business debit card for all my business expenses, it will sync with FreshBooks and it will sort of keep track of how much money I'm spending versus how much I'm bringing in, and it will show me how much I'm profiting overall compared to those two numbers. Another cool feature in FreshBooks that I really like, because money, it can be hard to ask for money from people, and it can get really uncomfortable when people don't pay you in a timely manner and you have to keep reminding them to pay you. It can get very awkward. So FreshBooks actually sends out automated reminders, and you can program it to be as often as you want. So you could say after 30 days or after 60 days or after 5 days or, whatever it is that you want to do. You can set it up that way. So it's great for just so many industries. I was just thinking for pet photographers, this would be really, really handy too, because you could ask people to pay you in advance or before you deliver your albums or whatever it is that you do. So check that out. It's really worth it. There is a monthly fee for it, but whatever it is totally 100% worth it. All right, so next up, a more fun topic than invoicing is Instagram. So Instagram, is my favorite thing. I'm obsessed with it, and I love spending time on there. Thanks to the new little time tracker thing that tells you how much time you spend on there, I have found that I easily spend over an hour. Some days I spend 2 hours on Instagram. So that's a little bit embarrassing, but I just love being on there. There's so many dogs and so many cool accounts to follow. So to keep my Instagram organized, I use an app called Planoly. It's Planoly. And Planoly is an amazing tool. You can use it on your computer or on your phone, and I actually use both because they work together really well. So I use it to plan out my Instagram feed. I can drag and drop my photos so I can see in advance what the order is going to look like. And that's been really great for me because I can see if I post a lot of photos that are very pink in a row, how that's going to look. Maybe I want to alternate it so that they're not all in one place or something like that. I also try to have a good balance of photos of my dogs versus photos of me with my dogs. So Planoly really helps me sort of keep on track with my schedule for Instagram. I can also schedule things at certain times and sort of see how that's going to play out. And like I was talking about with Trello, that comes really in handy when I have sponsored posts that I have to keep track of. So I know a sponsored post has to go up on a specific date. I can set that up in Planoly, and then I can plan around it for my other Instagram posts to make sure that everything looks really nice. You can also do auto post in Planoly. I don't use that for my Teamistic account, but for my other Instagram account, Instamistic, where I share all of my Instagram tips and everything like that, I do sometimes do the auto post because I sometimes forget about that account, to be honest with you. And I feel like it doesn't require as much attention as my Teamistic account. On Teamistic, I spend so much time interacting with other people, and that's why I like to go in and do my posts manually myself. And so on Planoly, I'll just assign a date and time. But on my Instamistic account, sometimes I will do auto-publish because I just want to make sure that those posts are going up and that it goes up on a regular basis, because I found myself sometimes not posting on there for an entire week. And so using the auto-post just made sure that I actually got things up and on there in a timely manner. So that's been really, really helpful for me. So I think see what works for you. If auto-post works for you, then do it. At the end of the day, I think on Instagram that consistency is really most important. So whatever you can do to make it easier for you to be more consistent with your feed, Planoly, I think, can help you do that. A little kind of hack or a trick on Planoly that I like to use that I think a lot of people pass up on is scheduling out your stories. So I don't use this for like videos of me and my dogs or selfie style videos or anything like that, because a lot of those things I just do in the moment. But I can schedule out if I make a graphic to promote a sale or a special event or something else that I have going on. I'll make a special Instagram stories graphic for that, and then I can schedule it into my Planoly for my stories. And what's really cool is I can drag it in there like 3 separate times in case I want to share that graphic 3 times over the course of a week or a month or whatever. So that's been really, really handy. So check that out. You just hit there's like an S in the top left-hand corner if you're on the mobile app. I think it might be in the same place on the computer, but check that out and you can actually design things on your computer, drag them into Planoly from there, and then access them from your phone later. So if you struggle with like getting things to the right places, like from your computer to your phone, then Planoly is very, very helpful with that. Okay, so then a next thing that I've been using lately that really ties into my Instagram, you're going to be surprised how I use this, but this is a scheduling tool called Acuity. And I've been using it for probably over a year, and Acuity is a way for other people to schedule appointments with you. So I use it for everything from Instagram coaching calls to scheduling my podcast guest recordings. I send them a special link that takes them to the sign up page where they can choose from my own schedule a time and date that works for them. And I've set it up so that for my podcast guests, they can only book a 45-minute appointment. And I have it blocked off in 1-hour increments so that I have a little bit of a buffer zone. But it's really great. So you never get double booked. And people can't choose times that you haven't already made available. So you'll never have someone request to meet you at 7 o'clock in the morning unless you make 7 a.m. available on your schedule. So it's really, really great, especially for my podcast. It works really well for me to do those, do a couple like right in a row in one day because I'm sort of in that mindset of interviewing people. So in my Acuity calendar, I'll make available just like 5-hour time chunks a few times a week. And then that way when people schedule, they're most likely to schedule them sort of in similar chunks of time, and it makes it easier on me. You can use this to schedule dog training appointments, photo shoots. If you're working with clients, you could use it to schedule informational phone calls if you're doing that in your business. There's so many different applications that I think you can use for this. I've seen people even using Acuity to schedule just like coffee meetings and coffee dates, just chit chats with other people. So it doesn't have to be like a really, important occasion that you're scheduling. You could even schedule just like little coffee meetings or lunch dates with other people that you want to network with. So Acuity is really, really handy for that. And what's really cool, I mentioned that it ties into Instagram. You may have noticed on Instagram that there is a new option to do a call to action button. You have to have a business account, so make sure you have a business account on Instagram because you are running a business, so you should have a business account. But once you have a business account, you hit edit profile. And then under contact information, there's an option to add a call to action button or an action button. I can't remember exactly how they word it. But when you click on there, it is integrated with probably like 20 or 30 different apps. And there's several different ones that are scheduling apps, and there's several that are for reservations for restaurants and other sort of different service-based needs, but Acuity is one of those. So you can actually connect your Acuity account with your Instagram account as a call to action button. And then if you do that on your profile, below your bio, but above your feed, there's usually some blue links for contact information, and one might be email or directions or call or something like that. And if you link up Acuity, one of the options will become book. And so what's so awesome about this is that in your Instagram captions, you can refer people to click on the book button in your bio or on your profile. And then that way you don't have to actually change the link in your bio. So you're going to be getting 2 links for the price of one, which is free because Instagram's free. But you'll still have your link in your bio, which can be whatever you want. And then you would have this book button that people could click to book time with you. So it is an amazing way. It's a total Instagram hack, adding 2 links to your profile just by linking it up with Acuity. And I'm sure whatever kind of business you're in, you're going to have to set up some kind of an appointment with somebody. So I definitely think it is worthwhile using that. Okay, so my next piece of advice, this is all about automation. So Acuity does a little bit of automation. Planoly can automate things. FreshBooks can automate some of your invoicing. Trello can probably automate things, but I don't think of it that way. But this next one is really all about automation. So Zapier, it's Zapier. If you're not using it, maybe you're familiar with something called If This Then That. And that's kind of, I think, like the old school version of what Zapier is. I haven't heard people using If This and That in a long time. So Zapier is like the new kid on the block, and it is so awesome. So you can go in there and they have a bunch of pre-made like formulas that you can use to link up things with other things. So for me, I actually link up my Acuity form for my podcast guests to my Google Docs. So on my Acuity form, I actually ask people their name, the name of their business, their website, their Instagram handle, a short bio from them, and then I also ask them for a few questions they might want to discuss on the show. And before I did this automation through Zapier, I would go in there, I'd copy all those things, I'd paste them into a Google Doc in my Drive, and then I'd edit it and do all this kind of stuff to get ready for the interview. So I set up this Zap, if you will, and it now takes all that information. As soon as someone clicks submit on that form, all that information goes straight over to a Google Doc. So I have saved, 15 minutes for each one, which is a lot of time when you add it all up, because I do 4 interviews. I publish 4 interviews a month. So that can be an hour easily. So it's really, really cool. Another another sort of trick that I use on Zapier is I use it to auto post my Instagram post to my Facebook fan page. So if you listen back a few solo episodes back, I was having the darndest time getting my Instagram account linked up with my Shopify store. And it was driving me completely bonkers. I probably spent some time every single day for 6 weeks trying to figure this out. And if you've ever tried to contact Instagram for help, then you understand that that just doesn't do anything. No one will ever contact you back. And Shopify's customer service was very, very useless as well. So I finally figured out, I just set up a new Facebook page that's called the Wear, Wag, Repeat Shop. And that enabled me somehow or another to be able to tag products on my Team Mystic Instagram account. So it was a total workaround. I just totally had to kind of make it up and do the best that I could. But it's working out really, really well. The only problem was that my Instagram posts would no longer be able to get pushed to my main Wear, Wag, Repeat Facebook page. So I realized I could go in Zapier and I could set up a Zap that would make my Instagram posts from Team Mystic go over to my Wear, Wag, Repeat Facebook page. Not the new shop one that I kind of just created as a dummy account, but my main Facebook page so that people can actually see them. And there's a lot of stuff out there about, do Facebook posts perform well if they're being pushed from other things? And I can't really say for certain because I don't really track my Facebook data all that much. I only have 800 or 900 fans on my page, so it's not a huge audience. I don't track it all that much, but I do think that my posts might be performing a little bit better since I've set up this Zap versus when I was pushing it directly from Instagram. So some way or another, I think it is working the same, if not better. So I definitely recommend you check that out. There are so many different things. If you just go to Zapier.com, I guess is what it is, you'll see examples of all these different automations that you can set up. You can even set up stuff in your home if you have smart devices. So that's pretty cool, like if you have a Nest thermostat or something. Okay, so I only have 2 more. So we've covered 5 so far, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have 2 tools left for you. So the next one is Zoom, and I use that for video calls a lot. For my podcast, I either interview people via Skype or Zoom. I started to find out a lot of people don't have Skype accounts, or they'll say, oh my God, I haven't logged into Skype in years. I don't even know what my username is. And so Zoom is really cool because people don't have to, I don't think you have to really set up an account. You can actually call in from a phone or from your computer. Like you can dial a phone number. You don't have to even use a mobile app for it. So it's really, really great. You can do video calls. You can record the audio directly from it. It's a really great, awesome tool. And I have the free account. It allows you to do up to a 40-minute phone call. And I think that's plenty of time for most things that you're going to want to do. It actually helps me really stay on schedule because with my podcast, sometimes I'll start chit-chatting after I even stop recording with people. And this way I know I only have 40 minutes. So we have got to sort of stay on task and stay focused. So sometimes having a limit like that can be really, really helpful. So check out Zoom. It's really great for so many things. All right. Now, my last tool is really more of like a little hack or a trick. Since I'm so into Instagram, I just want to remind you guys, you have plenty of time to amp up your Instagram account leading up to the holidays. It's such a great time of year to grow your Instagram account because people are on there looking for ideas, looking for photos, looking for gifts, all sorts of things. So I want to remind you to just spend a little bit of time right now, this afternoon if you can, and strategize your Instagram bio. The most important thing that you can put in your Instagram bio is a really strong call to action and a link in your bio. So I see a lot of people don't put a link, or maybe they just put a link to their homepage and there's no text above it that kind of, asks people to click on it. I really think it's a wonderful strategy to make the last line in your bio some sort of attention getting phrase like click below to shop, or you can even use the downward facing arrow or a emoji of a hand pointing downward. That's what I use. And you can say shop now, or find great gifts, or book an appointment, or learn about us, or something like that. A lot of people just link directly to their homepage of their website, but you can edit the link in your bio to go to any page that you want. So maybe you want to set up a special page on your website that, is your top 5 posts, or your top 5 recommendations, or your about me page, or like a quick start guide to whatever it is that your business is about. And then you can make that your link in your bio, and you can put a little line of text above it that describes exactly what it is. Actually, last year I was consulting with a restaurant in Pittsburgh, and they, just had a regular link in their bio to their main homepage of their website. But once you got there, it wasn't, their homepage was wonderful. It could tell you where they're located, but you could also find out where they're located a lot of other ways. Right on Instagram, you can actually just get directions and you can see the address. So it wasn't really doing a whole lot for them. So we changed it to the About page, and I put the text above. I said, meet Chef Ray. So a lot of people might want to meet the chef, might want to meet the owner, might want to meet the person behind the business. So I think that's a really sort of intriguing way to utilize the link in your bio. So see how you can do that. See how you can make the most of that for the holiday season, and for the rest of the year whenever you're listening to this. The Instagram bio is a really powerful tool. It's basically your landing page on Instagram, so you want to make the most of it. So I hope that these 7 tools and tricks were really helpful for you guys. I appreciate you listening to this. I hope you continue to like solo episodes. I'm actually going to start doing 1 a month. So if you have any recommendations or requests on topics that you'd like me to cover, just send me a DM on Instagram, or go to my website and you can contact me through that, wearwagrepeat.com. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, a wonderful holiday season, or whenever you're listening to this, and I will see you around the interwebs.